Greetings all and welcome back. Today we're going to look at arguably the most famous classical guitar piece that you have likely heard before, whether it be in movies or anywhere else in life that this sort of style may be appropriate. And today we're going to look at the first part, the first page of it, which is in E minor. The second part of it is in E major. We'll play a little bit to kind of give you a taste and we'll take it from there. Here we go. Now, as a whole, this piece is kind of a large arpeggio work, meaning that we generally have a chord down. Really, it's one note that's moving melodically, but in a similar way to House of the Rising Sun, we have a repeated right-hand finger pattern. So in this case, you may have noticed every time this right hand was playing ring, middle, index, ring, middle, index, and every time that pattern happened, it was on strings 1, 2, and 3. So as kind of a preface to this piece, as you're warming it up, don't even have your finger on the guitar. Don't even have any hands on the guitar. Just take that right hand and ring, middle, index, ring, middle, index, ring, middle, index. Keeping that hand still, nice and relaxed. Also be sure to have the page ready, which is a free download. Click the link in the description box and you will have the tabs and music at your disposal. And as you're looking at the page, you will also notice that on the first beat of every measure, every 3 iterations, we have a bass note involved as well. So if we kind of just add that without any chords down, it looks like this. So if we really counted that out, it'd be like 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. So you can see that bass note happen at the beginning of every measure of 3. Now, beauty of this too is that in the left hand, we have a bit of an easy time in the fact that most of the time we have one single melodic note moving about, which gives us kind of an effect that there is a lot going on, which there is, but it's going to sound a bit more expensive than it actually is when we dissect it. So right off the bat, as you see from your page, we start on the 7th fret. Go to the 5th fret, 3rd fret, 3rd again, 2nd, 1st. So for all of that, right, we were on only string number 1. As you can see from the page, granted we are going to get into more notation reading, but for now, read that tab. The page says 7, 5, 3, 2, 0, all on string number 1. So that top note that is the melodic note, make that note a bit louder than the rest of the accompaniment. Those notes in the middle, those repeated notes, are not the main melody, but they are an accompanying part of that. So that main melody will come out a bit louder. Now, I would be willing to bet for most of you, the first kind of half might be on the easier side. But after we get up to here, check it out. We're gonna have a 5th fret half bar. And a couple things about barring. Again, we're going to have many videos about barring and such, but for now, when we bar, which means we're going to fret more than one string with the same finger, we're going to be perfectly parallel to the fret that we are on. We're going to be, this is an important part, we're going to have that bar finger rolled back a bit. So it's not going to be on the soft, fleshy part, the pad of the finger, but it's going to be more on that hard, bony side of it. And that's going to then allow us to make those notes clear without having to exert too much pressure. So if we had this, yeah, we could do it, but it'd be a little bit harder than if we have that rolled on its back. So a thing that also helps is to kind of take this elbow and bring it a bit closer to our body, so we kind of naturally roll that finger on the side. So as close to the fret as possible, so close that you can't really see it, rolled back on the side of that bar finger. And once you have that in position, check to make those to make sure those strings are clear. Great, there we go. You might have noticed at that spot too, we changed to the 5th string bass. So we were up here on 12. Arrived with that 4th finger on the 8th fret, and then we can just casually put down that bar, play the 5th string open bass. Now the hardest part in this first section is going to be that 7th fret bar that you see on the page. This for beginners will be quite difficult, but if you've had a little bit of experience, this won't go so bad. Now, same concept. So for the 7th fret bar, we are going to have that finger rolled back on the side of it. We're going to be so close to the metal fret that we cannot see it. And we're going to be perfectly parallel to that fret. So not like that, but perfectly parallel side of the finger. One also pointer, oftentimes the 2nd string is a problem string. The 2nd string doesn't want to come out. So if we position that large knuckle over the 2nd string, that can be a really big help. So put that over the 2nd string. Let's check it all to make sure it's clear. Pretty good. Now you notice on your page, you have an 8th fret 3rd string. So our kind of main shape for this section is a 7th fret bar, 8th fret on the 3rd string. 8th fret on the 1st string. Back to the 7th fret bar or finger comes off. This is a big stretch. We're going to stretch all the way to 11 while keeping that bar there. Back to 8. Back to the 7th fret on the bar. And at this point, we're going to be home free. Now, for that stretch, for those of you that this is a new piece, it may be difficult to keep that bar there on the 7th fret and stretch all the way to 11. What I like to do to kind of get my hand prepared anytime there's a stretch that's not that familiar or not that comfortable is I'll try to stretch even further out of context. So I'm not even going to play this hand. We're going to take this hand. We're going to try, we have to get to 11. We're going to try to stretch to 12. That may not be possible, but no worries. Try to relax that hand anyway. That hand is just hanging out, sipping hot chocolate on a marshmallow couch. It's as relaxed as could be. We're going to stretch as far as we can. We're just going to hold it there for a second. Hold that on the 12th fret. Let that hand relax, open up, get familiar with that shape. After you've held it there for, 10, 20 seconds or so, take it off. Relax the hand, and then try to stretch to 11 again. And hopefully it feels a little bit easier. You may have to do that technique several times to get that happen. And again, this won't happen overnight. Practice of any musical instrument is going to take time and slow practice. So back to our 7th fret idea. Here's the stretch. And now we're home free in a similar way that we were when we started the piece, where we had our melody on the 1st string. Now that last chord, sure we had a single note melody for that last chord. It was kind of like what we know as a B or B7 chord. We're not playing that D sharp there, but we have on the 2nd fret string 5, string 3, string 1. And now we're going to kind of arpeggiate a bit of an E minor. Here we go. 5th string in the bass, E minor over G, G in the bass, and finally our open strings for our last chord. So hopefully that works out and is comfortable. Please have that page out while you watch this video. Click on the link below. You can download that page for free. And that's all there is to it. So I will leave you with that. Maybe we'll kind of run it one last time. There's our anonymous Spanish romance. Please, any questions, leave a comment. Hope you enjoy, and cheers. We'll see you next time.